Is that all?
I'll take it from here. Watch out!
Here, take this.
What's not enough?
The tables have turned. Swift wind, howling by.
Don't miss the brightest moment. It's easy to get heat stroke in the middle of summer. Wait. The show isn't over yet! Angel Ultimate! Wink wink! Time to chase summer once more. The raging tide will bury the past. Sing your head out! Not done yet!
The wind leaves no trace.
Keep up with the beat!
Wave goodbye to summer. How rude of you. Be gone.
I'll take it from here. Let's create the most beautiful stage.
Don't miss the brightest moment. Care for a game on the beach? This is your last summer.
Hit the beat!
Real day.
The show isn't over yet, Sing your heart out!
Time to chase summer once more. Please get back.
Not done yet! The show goes on! Strange illusion! Right here, right now!
Wave goodbye to summer. Here's a wave just for you. The tide will wash it all away. A daze.
Sing your heart out! Not done yet!
Don't miss the brightest moment.